There is so much to dissect from this year's British Grand Prix. Let's dive into everything. Whether you watched the race or you didn't, let's go through the entire story of how this race ended up being 2 McLarens and a kick. That's why I'm wearing this green shirt, a kick Sauber on the podium. Let's talk about it in today's episode of Track Limits. Let's get into it. As always, my name is John, the Motorsports Enthusiast, and I'm wearing green because of Nico Hulkenberg. And if you didn't already know, Nico Hulkenberg got a podium, the first podium of his career in this past weekend's British GP. Let's dive into what actually led to Nico Hulkenberg finishing in third, Oscar Piastri finishing in second, and Lando Norris winning the race. On lap 1, Max Verstappen leads the field, followed by Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton. On lap 2, Liam Lawson crashes into Esteban-Ocon, which results in a virtual safety car. Lawson retired. On lap 3 to 4, Kimi Antonelli actually pits for slicks because it was actually kind of sprinkling and raining at this point. The race resumes under the mixed conditions. On lap 5, Oscar Piastri pressures Max Verstappen for the lead because Verstappen's losing grip. On lap 6, Gabriel Bortoleto spins off the track because he put on slicks, another VSC's out. And on lap 7 to 8, the VSC ends. Piastri is chasing Verstappen as the dark rain clouds start to roll in. Now around lap 9, this is where things start to change. On lap 9, Oscar Piastri overtakes Max Verstappen and Stowe to take the lead. On lap 10 to about 11, Lando Norris and Max Verstappen are battling, and Max Verstappen goes wide. Lando Norris slides past to go to P2. Then on lap 12, heavy rain begins. Drivers dive into pit road for fresh intermediates. Then by lap 13, Piastri builds up a almost 14-second lead as he's trying to win another race. Now on lap 14, this is where things start to take another turn. A safety car was deployed because of how dangerous the conditions were. The rain was just getting too hard. Visibility was literally nothing. Piastri's lead gone. Then on lap 18, Isaac Hadjar runs right into the back of Mr. Kimi Antonelli, which results in another safety car. Now between lap 19 and 21, they're pacing, but around lap 22, this is when things start to get very interesting for Max Verstappen and Oscar Piastri. Oscar Piastri slows pretty heavily, and Max had to avoid him, and this results in Max spinning in the following corner and Oscar Piastri getting a 10-second penalty for a safety car infringement. And by lap 24, you had some amazing strategy calls from Aston Martin. What they did is they put Lance Stroll on slick tires while everybody else was on intermediates when the track was somewhat trying to dry, and Lance made himself all the way up to P3. Yep, that Aston Martin with Lance Stroll up to P3. Then on lap 25, Oscar was actually officially given that 10-second penalty. And by lap 27, you had Lance Stroll in third, Nico Hulkenberg in fourth, and Lewis Hamilton trying to make his way back up through the field. On lap 30, Hamilton passed Pierre Gasly in the Alpine for fifth. Some laps go by, and on lap 35, Nico Hulkenberg passes Lance Stroll for P3. Basically, the reason why the kick was out there as well is because they had another great strategy call and a caution coming at the exact right time when everybody else went down pit road. They gained a lot of track position. Once the heavy rains start to pass, the teams are now wondering, okay, when are we going to be able to put on slicks? So about lap 38, Aston Martin makes the call to put Fernando Alonso on slick tires. Fernando Alonso completely fails at that, but Mercedes I don't think really learned, because on lap 40, they put George Russell on slick tires, pitting from P7. Then George Russell did like 2.5 pirouettes on the ground, spinning through one portion of the track, and so slicks are not the answer right now. Then by lap 42, you saw almost the rest of the field try to gamble, and one of those cars was Lewis Hamilton on slicks, but on soft slicks. Once he does that, he does go off track pretty quickly after that because the grip is just so low. And that was around lap 42. Then on lap 44, Oscar Piastri comes in to serve that 10-second penalty. And the result of that is Lando Norris getting ahead of Oscar Piastri, opening up a 5.4-second gap. Then by lap 46, Charles Leclerc goes off for a second or third time. I can't even keep track at this point. Norris leads by 5 seconds with 5 to go. And by lap 47, the track was almost completely dry, and the gap is somewhat sustained between Norris and Piastri. As this is happening, Nico Hulkenberg is on mediums, Lewis Hamilton's on softs. Lewis Hamilton is attempting to make his way back up to the back of that kick Sauber, but it just doesn't work. And by lap 52, Lando Norris secures his first British GP, becoming the 13th British driver to win at the British Grand Prix. So the top 10 from Silverstone was the following: Lando Norris in first, Oscar Piastri second, Nico Hulkenberg in third, Lewis Hamilton in fourth, Max Verstappen coming back from spinning all the way up to P5th, Pierre Gasly in sixth, Lance Stroll, Alex Albon, Fernando Alonso, and George Russell round out the top 10. I don't think anybody could have expected that top 10 by any means. Now, what does this do to the point standings? Well, Oscar Piastri now has only an 8-point gap between him and his teammate. Oscar with 234 points and Lando with 226 points. Now, right behind them in third is Max Verstappen with 165. In fourth is George Russell with 147. And then in fifth is Charles Leclerc with 119. But on the constructors' side, we had a little bit of a flip because we had Ferrari now going back up to second in the constructors. McLaren's obviously ahead with 460 points. Ferrari is now second with 222. Mercedes in third with 210. Red Bull in fourth with 172. And Williams in fifth with 59. Now, this week's Happy Hour Racing Happiest of Them All award, easy. Nico Hulkenberg. It's why I'm wearing green. I probably need to get a Nico shirt, but either way, Nico Hulkenberg, you deserve everything. First podium in Formula One. First time since 2012 that team has gotten on the podium. And I think this is a great just race all around for his confidence and for his career. I mean, he's won Le Mans before, so obviously he's a good driver. But that is this week's Happiest of Them All award going to Nico Hulkenberg. And if you haven't checked out Happy Hour Racing, you got to go check them out. HappyHourRacing.com. They have everything that you need from Formula One, NASCAR, IndyCar merch, everything you can want and need from a store. They got to go check them out today. And with that kind of wraps up track limits from a race perspective for the next little bit of time. The next race is on July 27th, almost 3 weeks away. And we'll be going to one of my favorite tracks, Spa. Spa is such a magical place. Absolutely love that track. And that's where we'll be going on July 27th, the Belgian Grand Prix. And as always, make sure to hit that subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of the creators here on A2IL Media, whether it's 4 Laps, Track Limits, whether it's Sal's show in the mornings, whether it's Nitro Nation, whether it's Taylor's content. No matter what it is, make sure to hit that subscribe so you don't miss any of our content here on A2IL Media. See you next time. Ciao.